Good morning. I must say that as I entered into the superintendent seat this year, it was quite a wild ride. Um, I've spent many years in Marshall County schools in many different um, seats. And as my first year as superintendent, I hit the ground running, let's just say. Um, so as I sit and look back at all that has gone on over the last 11 weeks, um, it's quite a whirlwind to say the least. This all started 8 months into my tenure, thinking good superintendents don't make decisions on a hunch. But I did just that 8 months into my tenure of Marshall County Schools, and on a gut feeling, called a 2-hour delay of all days on Friday the 13th to allow teachers some time to prepare if there was going to be a school closure due to COVID-19. Now, I have to admit that some of the superintendents in the Northern Panhandle heard from me that day, asking, what are we going to do? Can we kind of do this, stick together? Because I knew that I was just going to take heat for this. I just kept thinking, what a slap in the face for teachers to get 2 measly hours to prepare for a school closure that may or may not happen. And we really don't know how long it might be for. But when the governor stated that we would not be returning to school that Monday, I must say that the teachers and principals rose to the occasion. I asked that each principal submit a remote learning plan for their school. We also submitted remote learning plans at the district level as well, so that here at the county office, how were we too going to work remotely, learn remotely? Um, those plans were to include staff professional development as well as remote learning for students and packet learning for students. We were not sure of how many students in our county did not have internet access, but we knew it was pretty great. We know that we have a number of students who don't have landlines, let alone internet or cell phone service. We also knew that, we need to make sure that the community around us understands that we are still working and we're still working very hard. I've had many, many teachers say to me, I wish we could come back to school. I am working harder doing this than I am at school when I have kids in front of me. So those remote learning plans contained a lot of professional development for our staff, as well as how we were going to connect with children with and without internet. So this all went down on a Friday, and on Sunday afternoon, the principals were told that they needed to submit their plans to me. And I have to, again, give them significant kudos, because without a complaint, without a him haul around, we had a meeting on Sunday and every single principal had their plan ready to roll for Monday. So we had that meeting Sunday afternoon. The principals submitted their plans. They worked all weekend to have these ready to me for our Sunday meeting. I was just absolutely amazed by the creativity and the work that had been put into these plans. And our remote teaching and learning began on Monday. The governor gave counties a week to prepare, but we didn't take it. We started on Monday. One of the things that was in all of those plans was connecting with your children. How can we connect with children in some way within the first week and a half, to know that our kids are okay, to know what resources our kids have so that we know how to plan. As this remote teaching and learning progressed, we held weekly meetings with principals, asking that they continue to have professional learning community meetings with their teachers. And also, principals were asked to submit a list of students with whom they were unable to make contact. When we got those names from the principals went and maybe did distance home visits, phone calls. Myself or someone from the county office went to check on the kids, and we would take hard copies of packets of work and food to the homes. Another way that we looked for children that we had not heard from was during food distribution. We're a pretty small county. There's only about 4,000 students, but we fed about half of our student population every Wednesday during food distribution day. Somebody from the county office is at each bus stop each week. We send our food out on the buses, and there are bus drivers on those buses, but someone from the county office is also at each bus stop giving out the food. And we look for the students and families that the principals have told us that we're having difficulty finding. And at those food truck stops, we also give out additional work, books, and we also pick up completed packets from families. So that was one of our major concerns, is that we need to make sure that we've heard from all of our children. So again, as I look back, there's a lot of things that I'm very, very proud of in Marshall County, but I only have 10 minutes, so I had to narrow it down to 2. There are 2 things that we did in Marshall County that I'm very proud of. The first is that we continued individualized instruction, and this took a lot of work. We didn't buy special software. We used our greatest asset, and our greatest asset is our teachers and our instructional aides. The teachers know their children, and they know what these children need instructionally. The teachers know what they covered in the curriculum and what needed to be taught in the future. They knew who was struggling with which standards. They knew what needed remediated, what needed enriched. So those teachers continued to plan individualized instruction for our students. We knew that our kids needed that. And so we had teachers posting videos of instruction. They hosted Zoom meetings. They used Microsoft Teams for meetings. We had a lot of teachers who would have entire class instruction and videotape themselves. And then again, they would have private sessions for students, and parents might be on there, small group instruction for enrichment and remediation. In our county, we have Title I teachers. We also have some interventionists paid for through our levy. Those teachers continued to contact their children and their families and help parents learn how to do some of the reading strategies and math strategies that we do in small skills groups. In Marshall County, we are the 2nd highest county for neonatal abstinence syndrome childbirth. So we have a lot of children who are born addicted in our county. We have a lot of students who need contact with their school counselors. And we also have 2 social workers that work in our county.